The Empire's mistake, the Galactic Empire had ruled for 3,000 years. Their ships crossed the stars like wolves hunting prey. Every world they found either bowed or burned. No one had ever stood against them and survived. Admiral Kron stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Fury. He was old for his kind, with silver scales covering his reptilian face. Behind him, 200 warships waited in formation. Each ship carried enough firepower to glass a planet. Target confirmed, his navigator said. Third planet from the star. They call it Earth. Kron studied the blue-green world on his screen. It looked peaceful, weak. Have they responded to our demands? Yes, Admiral. They refused. A ripple of laughter crossed the bridge. Kron smiled, showing his sharp teeth. In 3,000 years, only fools refused the Empire. Then we will teach them the price of defiance. Prepare the fleet for attack. But something bothered him. The planet had been quiet for too long. No ships had left. No defenses appeared in orbit. Either the humans were stupid, or they had a plan. Sir, we're detecting a single ship emerging from the dark side of the planet. Kron leaned forward. One ship? What class? The navigator's voice wavered. Unknown, sir. It's massive. Larger than anything in our database. On the screen, a shape appeared. It was bigger than Kron's entire battle group combined. The ship was dark gray, covered in armor plating that seemed to drink in the light of space. Strange symbols marked its hull, human letters spelling out one word, retribution. That's impossible, Kron whispered. How could a primitive world build something that large? Admiral, they're hailing us. A human face appeared on the screen. He was young, with short dark hair and calm blue eyes. He wore a simple black uniform. I am Captain Cole of the Earth Defense Fleet. This is your only warning. Turn your ships around and leave our system. You will not get another chance. Kron's crew erupted in laughter again. The Admiral raised his hand for silence. Captain Cole, you face 200 warships. Your world will burn by morning. Surrender now, and perhaps we will let some of your people live as slaves. Cole's expression didn't change. We gave you a choice. You made the wrong one. All ships weapons free. The transmission ended. Kron shook his head. Destroy that ship. Show these humans what happens to the retribution opened fire. Light erupted from thousands of points along the massive vessel. Beams of pure energy, thicker than any weapon Kron had seen, lanced through space. They struck his forward ships before anyone could react. The Empire's shields, strong enough to withstand plasma storms and nuclear explosions, collapsed instantly. Armor that had protected ships for centuries melted like ice under a blowtorch. 5 ships exploded in the first 3 seconds. Return fire. All ships return fire. Kron screamed. The Empire's fleet unleashed everything they had. Missiles, energy beams, particle cannons. All of it struck the Human Dreadnought. Kron watched, waiting for the kill. This had to work. This always worked. But the smoke cleared, and the retribution remained. Not a single mark showed on its dark armor. It was like shooting at a mountain with a bow and arrow. Impossible, Kron breathed. Nothing can withstand that much firepower. Admiral, we've lost 40 ships. Their weapons are cutting through our formations like they're not even there. Panic spread across the bridge. Kron's crew, warriors who had conquered hundreds of worlds, watched in horror as humanity's single ship dismantled their fleet. The retribution moved with impossible grace for something so large, its weapons never missing, never stopping. All ships evasive action, scatter formation. But the Empire's ships were too slow. The humans had studied them, learned their tactics, understood their weaknesses. Every shot from the Retribution found its target. Every burst of energy ended another Empire vessel. In 10 minutes, Kron had lost half his fleet. In 20 minutes, only 60 ships remained. The survivors tried to retreat, their engines burning bright as they fled into the darkness of space that the Retribution didn't pursue. It simply hung there in the void, its weapons still tracking every remaining Empire ship. A message played across all Empire frequencies. Captain Cole's voice was calm and clear. "Tell your Empire this. Earth is not afraid. We've been watching you for decades, preparing for this day. Your age of conquest is over. Leave us in peace, or we will bring this war to your home." Kron stared at the screen, his hands shaking. In 3,000 years, the Empire had never known fear. Until now. Asterisk the turning point. The news reached the Empire's home world in 3 days. Emperor Vash listened to Admiral Kron's report in silence. Around the throne room, his generals and advisors whispered among themselves. No one could believe what they were hearing. "One ship," Emperor Vash said slowly. "One human ship destroyed half your fleet?" Kron's image flickered on the hologram. The Admiral looked broken, nothing like the proud warrior who had left weeks ago. "My lord, their technology is beyond anything we've encountered. Our weapons cannot pierce their armor. Their shields regenerate faster and we can damage them. And their firepower." He paused. "Each shot is like a star dying." "Then send more ships," General Mack growled. He was the Empire's top military commander, a veteran of 100 campaigns. "We have 10,000 warships. Overwhelm them with numbers." Emperor Vash nodded. "Assemble battle groups 7, 9, and 12. 3,000 ships. Crush this human world and bring me their captain's head." The generals bowed and left. But in the shadows, an old advisor named Wren watched with worried eyes. He had studied the ancient texts, the warnings left by civilizations long dead. He knew something the others did not. Humanity was mentioned in those texts, always as a warning, never as prey. 3 weeks later, 3,000 Empire ships arrived at Earth's solar system. They came prepared this time. New weapons, better shields, battle formations designed to overwhelm any single target. Admiral Kron had been relieved of command. General Mack himself led the fleet, his hatred for humans burning bright. He would not fail like Kron had. He would not show fear. "All ships advance," Mack ordered. "Target the human home world. When we finish, nothing will remain but ash." But as the fleet moved forward, something appeared between them and Earth. Not one ship this time. 7 massive dreadnoughts materialized from the darkness, each one as large as the Retribution. Their names blazed across space: vengeance, defiance, victory, freedom, justice, thunder, and storm. Behind them, hundreds of smaller human ships took position. Cruisers, destroyers, carriers. A full battle fleet. General Mack's confidence wavered. Where did they hide such a fleet? His science officer checked the readings. "Sir, these ships, they're not reading on our sensors properly. They're using some kind of dark matter technology. They could have been here for months, and we'd never have known." Captain Cole's face appeared on every Empire screen again. "We told you to leave. You didn't listen. Now you face the entire Earth Defense Fleet. This is your last chance. Retreat or be destroyed. Fire." Mack screamed. All weapons fire. 3,000 Empire ships unleashed hell. The void of space lit up like a supernova. Energy beams, missiles, plasma torpedoes, enough firepower to destroy 100 worlds. The human shields blazed blue and held. Not a single ship fell. Then humanity returned fire. The 7 dreadnoughts opened up simultaneously. Their weapons were not like Empire guns. They were gravity cannons, antimatter beams, quantum disruptors, Technology the Empire didn't even have names for. Empire ships didn't just explode. They came apart at the molecular level. Scattered into atoms. The smaller human ships moved with deadly precision, working as one mind. They cut through Empire formations like knives through paper. Every shot hit. Every target died. Mac watched in horror as his fleet died around him. Deploy the planet killers, he ordered. If we can't have this system, neither can they. 5 massive Empire ships moved forward. They were ancient weapons, built to destroy entire worlds. Each one charged up their main cannons, targeting Earth itself. The retribution moved faster than anything that size should. It positioned itself directly between the planet killers and Earth. Then it did something no Empire scientists thought possible. The Dreadnought opened a massive portal in space itself. Every shot the planet killers fired went into that portal and disappeared. A moment later, those same shots emerged from new portals, directly behind the planet killer ships. The Empire's own weapons destroyed their most powerful vessels. Retreat! Mac finally screamed. All ships full retreat. But the humans were done with warnings. The Dreadnoughts pursued. Every Empire ship that tried to flee found human vessels waiting. They had planned every angle, predicted every move. This wasn't a battle. It was an execution. Of 3,000 ships, only 200 escaped. General Mac was not among the survivors. Back on the Empire home world, Emperor Vash received the news in his throne room. His hands trembled as he watched the battle recordings. Around him, his advisors stood in shocked silence. Old Ren stepped forward. "My lord, I tried to warn you. The ancient texts speak of humanity. They say, never wake the sleeping giants. For when they rise, empires fall." Emperor Vash looked at the image of Earth on his screen. That small blue world had just broken the Empire's military power. And now, according to reports, hundreds more human ships were being built. What have we done? The Emperor whispered. The new order of the Empire's defeat sent shockwaves across the galaxy. For 3,000 years, the Empire had been unstoppable. Now, a single planet had broken them in just 2 battles. Captain Cole stood on the bridge of the Retribution, watching as his fleet prepared for the next phase. Behind him, Admiral Price, the commander of Earth's entire military, reviewed tactical displays. "The Empire holds 47 conquered worlds," Price said. "Most of them were taken by force. The people there are slaves, living under brutal occupation." Cole nodded. "Then we free them." "Captain, we're receiving messages from across the galaxy. Hundreds of worlds are asking for our help. They want us to drive the Empire out. How long until the rest of our fleet is ready?" 2 weeks. We'll have 20 dreadnoughts and 500 support ships. More than enough. Cole smiled slightly. The Empire had made a fatal mistake. They thought Earth was alone and weak because humans had stayed quiet. The truth was different. Humanity had been watching the galaxy for 50 years, learning, planning, and building in secret. They had built their ships in the dark spaces between planets where no one would look. They had developed weapons the Empire couldn't imagine. And they had waited. Now, the wait was over. The human fleet moved through Empire space like a storm. World after world, they arrived to find Empire forces already fleeing. The reputation of the dreadnoughts had spread. No commander wanted to face them. No soldier wanted to die fighting an enemy they couldn't hurt. On the planet called Haven, Captain Cole watched as Empire troops surrendered without firing a shot. The local people, a species of blue-skinned beings called the Velnari, emerged from their homes in disbelief that an old Velnari woman approached Cole carefully. You are human?" "Yes, we heard the stories." We thought they were lies. The Empire said no one could defeat them. Cole looked at the woman. Her face showed years of suffering under Empire rule. The Empire was wrong about many things. You're free now. All of you. Tears ran down the woman's face. Around her, thousands of Velnari began to cry, to laugh, to celebrate. They had been slaves for 60 years. Now, because of humanity, they were free. This scene repeated across 47 worlds. Everywhere the human fleet went, they liberated and protected. They didn't conquer. They didn't demand tribute. They simply freed the oppressed and moved on. The galaxy had never seen anything like it. Finally, the human fleet reached the Empire's home world. 20 dreadnoughts emerged from faster-than-light travel, surrounding the planet. The Empire's last defense fleet, 500 ships strong, waited in orbit. Emperor Vash himself appeared on the communication channel. He looked old now, tired. Captain Cole, you have won. The Empire is broken. What do you want from us? Peace, Cole said simply. Real peace. Not the kind where you pretend to be peaceful while planning your next attack. We want you to free every slave in your territory. Dismantle your war machine. And never threaten another world again. And if we refuse? Cole's expression hardened. Then we will remove you from power and let the people you enslaved decide your fate. Choose now, Emperor. Vash looked around his throne room. His generals were gone. His fleets were destroyed. His empire was finished. He had no choice. We accept your terms. The treaty was signed 3 days later. The empire became a republic, its people voting for leaders for the first time in 3,000 years. The former slave worlds formed a new alliance, with Earth as a founding member, but not as a ruler. Humanity didn't want an empire. They wanted partners. Across the galaxy, the story spread. How a single planet stood against an ancient empire and won. How 7 dreadnoughts had broken the most powerful military force in known space. How humanity had fought not for conquest, but for freedom. Captain Cole returned to Earth a hero, but he didn't seek glory. He walked among his people, visiting the shipyards where workers were building new vessels. Not weapons of war this time, but exploration ships. Science vessels. Medical ships. Humanity had proven it could fight. Now it would show the galaxy what else it could do. Years passed. The dreadnoughts remained silent guardians in the dark. Their weapons stayed cold. They didn't need to fire anymore. Every pirate, every warlord, every would-be conqueror knew the stories. They knew what happened to those who threatened the innocent. On Earth, in the Space Museum, children gathered around a display showing the retribution. An old woman, a tour guide, told them the story of how humanity had taken its place among the stars. Remember, she always said at the end, we didn't seek war. But when war came to us, we were ready. And we fought not just for ourselves, but for all who couldn't fight for themselves. That is what it means to be human. In the darkness of space, the dreadnoughts waited, watching, protecting. Humanity's long sleep was over, and the galaxy was better for it. The end asterisk.